I'm going to have him go ahead and read the original post because I don't know if everyone was there. And I also don't know if it's been posted yet. So I'm going to go ahead and have him reread original post and then we'll do the update and top comments.
Okay. Am I the astronaut for telling my wife my childhood friend will never forgive her for what she did? Okay, this was posted OG July 14th, 2025. My wife, 32 female, and I, 34 male, have been married for 6 years, together for 10. We have a 4-year-old son. A few years ago, my close childhood friend, 34 female, got married. We've been extremely close since we were kids. Both of our families were dysfunctional in different ways. At one point, my dad cheated on my mom with her mom. They got married. Divorced a year later, and we basically ended up abandoned by both sides. Through all that, we became really close with each other. She even has 2 tattoos that relate to our bond. I would have gotten a tattoo, but I'm sort of scared of needles. My wife was actually close to my friend too, and never showed signs of being insecure about our friendship until postpartum hit. After our son was born, she really struggled. Her emotions were all over the place, and she became extremely insecure about my relationship with my friend. I was supposed to be the man of honor at my friend's wedding, help plan things, and be a big part of the ceremony, but my wife was so anxious and uncomfortable, she begged me to not attend. It made me really sad, but I chose my wife. I told my friend I couldn't go and told her why. She was really hurt by it. Not angry, just really sad, but said she understood. A couple of months later, my wife fully recovered and apologized, both to me and my friend. I forgave her. My friend, however, did not. When my wife reached out to my friend to apologize, my friend was polite but direct. She said she never wanted to speak to her again. She didn't yell or make a scene, she just drew a boundary. Honestly, I get it. It was a once-in-a-lifetime day, and she'd leaned on me for years, and I bailed. I still feel guilty about it. My friend and I still talk regularly, nothing inappropriate, we're just close, always have been. Recently, my wife asked if there was any chance my friend would forgive her. I told her the truth. No. That ship sailed. My wife got sort of quiet and looked sad and hasn't brought it up again, but I wonder if I was too blunt. Am I the astronaut for not giving my wife hope and just telling her forgiveness probably isn't happening? Okay. Relevant comments on that one. The AITAH had no consensus on OP, received mixed responses, but leaning toward YTA, which is surprising to me, because I'm like, what are you supposed to do, lie to her? But... Okay, relevant comments here. Commenter 1, asking out of genuine curiosity, how's this going to work? Is your bestie going to skip all the life milestones and celebrations on your end? Or is it expected that she will be there and your wife is uncomfortable? Is it safe to assume your bestie isn't involved in your child's life? I'm just trying to fully understand the situation. OP's response, which was downvoted, surprisingly, it doesn't actually change too much. We've always had our own little way of celebrating milestones, just the two of us. Like for birthdays, promotions, or any personal wins, we usually do something simple but meaningful, like grabbing dinner at our favorite spot, exchanging gifts, or just spending a few hours catching up. That's always been our tradition, even before we had other people in our lives. Obviously, the bigger get-togethers with all 4 of us, me, my wife, her husband, won't be happening anymore, but those weren't really the core of our friendship. She's not involved in my child's life, and I'm not looking to be involved in her future kid's life either. We actually agreed a while back that keeping our friends separate from family stuff was the healthiest way to go. Too many complications otherwise. And yeah, my wife and her used to hang out occasionally, but that part of things has naturally ended now. Quick question while I'm taking a drink before the second comment. Is that weird? Is it weird that they have had this, like, just the 2 of them?
I mean, yeah, I find it weird.
And they decided it would be best to keep, like, everyone else out of that? I
don't think continuing a friendship with someone who, I mean, I get it. I feel differently about postpartum depression. I take it seriously, and I understand it. She messed up. Her mental health was in jeopardy. She acted irrationally, which is not a normal thing for her. It was a mental health crisis, in my opinion, and it should have been treated way before it was. But I don't think this is a healthy example of how to, like, having a friend that is dismissing your partner. I don't think that's a healthy relationship to have.
So the follow-up question to that, is it not OP? Is it OP's responsibility to continue to try to foster some kind of healing between those two?
I mean, if someone said this to me about you, my answer would be, I'm sorry that you feel this way, but that was out of character for this person, and your inability to receive their apology is not something that I can handle and move forward in this relationship. So that's me. Like, he obviously chose differently, but I would not. So okay. Let's read comments too, because I think it is a little bit more eye-opening.
Dive into this. I know we already did, but it's fresh. It's a fresh take on it. You know what I mean? It's a new day. Second comment here. Everybody is congratulating you for choosing your wife, but I don't see it that way. Seems you technically did choose her, but you were too honest with your friend. Yes, too honest is a real thing. She didn't need to know the ins and outs of your wife's mental health crisis, but you shared that with your friend to make the excuse of picking my wife. You turned the situation into a friend versus wife scenario around the time it was really a wife versus her own mental health situation. As the father of a newborn or baby who is a few months old, you could have made the excuse for not attending the wedding without sharing the insecurity aspect of your wife's struggles. The friend didn't need to know that information if you were truly picking your wife. Solid point. It would have been harder, but the fact that you are allowing your friend to maintain no contact with the wife while y'all hang out and do whatever is shady to me. Your wife and you should be a package deal. If you really were picking her, then that would be the case. Surely your wife drove the decision, and sure, you technically picked correctly, but since then you have abandoned your wife with her guilt over an incident that happened when she was out of her mind. You aren't working to help resolve the conflict or smooth things over. You're letting your wife know that she shouldn't expect your best friend to treat her better because she's so awful to have needed you during her PPD. That is trash behavior, and I truly hope you recognize that, and instead of just letting your friends treat your wife like she doesn't exist, set your own boundaries and say, look, I know it wasn't ideal, but I needed to be with my family and they aren't going anywhere. So if you continue to blame and ostracize my wife, which, hey, you can totally do that, your choice, just know I can't allow somebody who can't hold sympathy for my life partner to be my best friend. That title is important and means things, and one of those things is not being a jerkwad to my wife. After all, if you can forgive me for supporting her during that time, why can't you forgive her for this?
Boom.
Regardless of how you handle this going forward, if your best friend and your wife are no contact, eventually you'll have to pick a side again. And it seems like you haven't picked wife's side in a hot while. YTA. All right. And
that is the comment for me. Like
it makes a hell of a lot of
We
sense.
did not touch on that perspective of, yes, you chose your wife. But I mean, I think we kind of
only
touched the
formality.
surface on the other, when we read over this. So that to me was like, it explained perfectly, and it was really well broken down and understanding of, I feel like, all parties. But I agree 100% with that comment.
Yeah, agreed.
And I hope the husband took it seriously. I really do.
That connects a lot of the dots that I was looking for whenever I was wanting to dive deeper and say, like, look, I mean, as your husband, this was a really, really selfish thing for him to do. This is the equivalent of him having his cake and eating it too, and only choosing to let his wife be the bearer of the pain for his wife to pay the cost.
To me, it screams I wanted a reason not to have to deal with your wife, and now I've got it. And I may be completely off base, but like you said, we're a package deal. If you want to be friends with one, you treat the other with respect. Yeah. Like it doesn't work. If you can't do that, it does not work.
I don't exist sans my wife.
Yeah. Not in that way. Like this, I agree. It is very shady on both of their parts, friend and husband.
Yeah. Agreed. And it's going to be interesting because what's going to happen someday whenever OP's bestie goes through PPD.
Yes, I really
out of her mind.
I hope that she has a fresh understanding if she chooses to have children. I think all women feel the emotional, the heightened hormones, all of that stuff, the crashing down. I think it's a normal feeling postpartum. But where it makes you think things, where it makes you act out of character, like those are very, very, like, we all know the stories. We've all seen it. It is a real thing.
We finally get to get into the updates. 2, am I the astronaut for telling my wife my childhood friend will never forgive her for what she did? Update 5 days later. Wow, I didn't expect the sheer gravity of responses I got. Reading through everyone's perspectives really opened my eyes. A lot of you reminded me that my wife went through a really tough mental condition postpartum, and regardless of how much it hurt my friend, my wife does not deserve to be punished forever for it. So a couple of days ago, I had a long, honest talk with my friend. I told her that my wife and I are a package deal, and while I understood why she was so hurt and disappointed, my wife had already repented and apologized enough. I told her that if she truly valued our friendship, she needed to hash it out with my wife so we could all move forward together. Okay, we're heading in the right direction, finally, right? It was a really emotional conversation. My friend was very sad at first, and we talked a lot about the past and how things had changed. Eventually, she agreed. Later that day, she called my wife, apologized for holding that grudge, and accepted my wife's apology too, and they had a nice, happy talk. My wife was honestly so relieved and happy it felt like a huge weight was lifted. During my talk with my friend, she also said she really misses hanging out with me like we used to before all this marriage drama. She said she would accept the apology, but she just wants to spend more one-on-one time with me again. I accepted that, told her I appreciated her honesty, and assured her that I still value our friendship deeply. She seemed really happy about it. So yeah, that's probably my final update. My wife is happy, my friend has let go of the resentment, and I feel like I finally did right by both of them. Thank you for all of your advice. It really helped me see what I needed to do. Top comments here. Commenter 1, everyone congratulating you on picking your wife when you clearly said you plan to spend more one-on-one time with a woman who caused significant problems in your marriage and lacks the compassion to understand PPD. Still not picking the wife. Still an asshole. It kind of feels that way, right? He did the formality thing again. He's like, well, technically, I picked you. It only cost me a lot more one-on-one time with her directly. Commenter 2, okay, so from the previous post, it sounded like your wife was going through postpartum, dealing with a lot of insecurity and mental illness, and she needed you at her side. Meanwhile, there's this other woman that is not your wife that has tattoos related to your bond that is very close to you. It's kind of impossible for her not to feel a type of way about it deep down. Regardless of all that fact, your wife was going through some really horrible times birthing your kid. Are men this incapable of realizing the toll childbirth takes on a woman's body? Because in the first post, you literally sounded like you blamed your wife as well and resented her for needing you to do your job as her partner. Still, she apologized to you and your friend, but your friend still held a grudge unnecessarily, might I add, because when it came to your wife, none of it was done maliciously. You had to basically give your friend an ultimatum in order to accept your wife's apology. You do realize she wasn't going to take that apology. If you didn't phrase it to her, she would also lose you, right? And it's proven when after all that, she still requests to have only one-on-one time with you. Sir, you are a husband and a father. Like, are we reading the same thing? Where is the emotional maturity everybody's talking about with you? It literally took Reddit to push you to use your brain to realize as a married man and a father, you should put your wife and kids' needs first. Your wife deserves better, because what the hell is this? Just no. All right, let's talk about this for a second, Tater. I know there are some people who feel very differently in chat, and I'm interested to see their reactions here too.
Continuing to ramp up their one-on-one time will result in a slow death to their marriage. And if people disagree, that's totally fine. Like, we have different opinions on how we view things, and that's totally okay. But I do feel like if he just placated them, right? Like, he just checked the boxes in order to squash this, but he's still doing what he intended to do in the original post, in my opinion. So
it was what I feel like happened here was she negotiated. Yeah. She negotiated this. She's like, okay, I will tell her I accept this apology, but it's going to cost you. And it's going to cost you more one-on-one time together. Look, OP just had a kid.
Yeah.
OP's bestie, which we have to keep this in mind. They're besties because they went through a lot of shit together growing up, right? They went through some shit. They have a strong bond, understood. But OP's bestie here just took that as an opportunity to have more selfish time with him. So it's not, she's like, okay, I'll make it look like she's getting a dub, but it's going to be an L. Wifey got handed another L here, and she doesn't even know it. That's the shitty part. I guarantee you, OP didn't march home and be like, hey, I'm glad you guys talked and she accepted your apology and you had this bond. I do need to let you know that she did request to spend a lot more one-on-one time with me in order to do that, because then wife would have been like, what the f***? That wasn't even an apology then.
Right. This would not work for me. And if it works for you as the wife in this relationship, that's great. Like, that's great if you don't care about this and you're that person and that's fine for you, like, good. But for me, no, I'm not. This isn't working for me.
Yeah.
And I have no shame in admitting that.
I mean, look, like I have old buddies from high school that I still get to hang out with, like, every once in a blue moon, and like, you don't hang out with them, you know them though, and then there's no problem between there. But it's like and I don't think there's any kind of problem with having a friend that is not like a couples group friend.
For sure,
you're allowed to have friends.
That's not the issue. I think the issue for me is that it took an ultimatum. It just feels icky. Like, the whole thing just feels icky. Like, all of I don't want to spend time with your wife. I want to spend time one-on-one with you. And like, which is totally fine. Like, it is fine. But this, like, the tattoos and the things, like, it's just all of it. It just feels icky to me.
So they are each other's emotional support person.
But yes, that's 100% what it feels like.
Can you have an emotional support person that's different from your spouse? Does that work?
For me in a relationship, no. This would not make me feel comfortable, but I would have never married this person.